make sure it's actually working. It is? I'm hoping it is. Okay. All right, Cindy, Steve, we're ready whenever you are.
Okay, I could go over what I have for an agenda.
Okay.
Cindy, can you hear us?
Yep, that'd be good. Thank you. Are we muted?
So for the agenda, I have, we have economics. We had 2 items TA'd last time. 2 items open right now are obviously proposals going back and forth, and the union had provided economic opener, asking for additional funding. We have the e-school MOU open, the teachers covering for teachers item open, and then the matrix.
Now, the matrix, that is the COVID matrix
chart.
that we,
Yes.
that we withdrew. So, yeah, that we won't be bringing that, that forward at this time, Steve, so.
Okay, so I'll just take that off.
Yeah, if that's okay with everybody, we've withdrawn it, so, good.
We do have one necessary follow-up item. Since we TA'd an agreement for the health insurance board match increase, we have to adjust and update the contract language related to the insurance board match. And so I have a proposal drafted which will reflect the TA.
All right.
We'll just match it.
I think I emailed it to you, Steve.
You did, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can you just write for that?
All right.
Here's my insurance, I'll look on there.
Now that'll be, what's that, is that 14?
This will have to be 14 and
14, okay.
15, because it's 2 contracts, 2
Mhm.
sets of language.
Which one's 14 and which one's 15?
So instructional 14 and support 15. And for those of you who are just seeing it for the first time. Sorry.
I assumed you had one already.
I did great, that's good. I'm just kidding.
The only change in the instructional contract is the adjustment to the new starting contract cycle 2021 and the actual board contribution for this 2-year contract. And then in support, 2 things. One, to make the language match exactly, because wherever we have the same thing, I want precisely and exactly the same language, so there's never any room for a variation in interpretation. And then we're adding a new paragraph 3 under insurance for support, which is simply reference to the insurance committee. It's always been applicable to support, but it's only been referenced in the instructional contract. And so again, it's about making things marry up nicely.
Do we have any questions on those? And Val's right, we do negotiate the board match each year. Thinkers, but we have not been updating it each year. We'll need to make sure that we do that on the contract each year to update that so it's accurate. Okay, no other questions? All right. I'm good with it, Val. That's good.
Okay, so we're 14 and 15.
Mm-hmm. You're good. All right. Thank you, Val, for noticing that. I appreciate it. I'd completely forgotten that that was, needed to be addressed in there.
It's okay.
Now, before we start with the economics, just want everyone to understand, we did have a lot of progress in our last meeting. We got 2 big things TA'd. We had 3 proposals. So that is a big accomplishment. I know if you're not at the bargaining table, maybe it not seem like it, but we did get a lot of stuff accomplished in a short amount of time. As we move forward, just in openness here, as Vicki said, you know, things have to be ratified by the bargaining unit. The bonus does, any salary increases have to be ratified by the bargaining unit. Our next board meeting is going to be November 9th. Okay, we don't have a workshop scheduled in November, so that'll be the only board meeting in November. Okay, so my goal is, and I'm positive that Vicki Val's goal is as well, is for us to accomplish a monumental task tonight and be able to settle on these money matters, so we can take that to the board on the 9th. CCA will be able to have their time to ratify per their bylaws, and hopefully we have it on the 9th. Take to the board approves it, CCA ratifies it, and we can get checks to people in Christmas like we have in the past, okay? Once it is TA'd, once it's taken to the board, I will have an extremely good idea as to what will come in what check. Which check would have the bonus, which check would be the retro. That information we can get out to everybody jointly once it all gets ratified and approved. Any questions on that? I just want everyone to, no pressure, just wanted everyone to understand money-wise where we are and timeline-wise. No? And I do believe that we can get this accomplished tonight, folks. I truly, truly do believe that. All right, I'm getting off my soapbox now.
Okay.
All right.
I'm excited. So, we, like you said, made good progress and left off with, the last proposal was passed by the board, which was the 47.5, and just for clarification, the $1,500 salary increase would be $1,500 across the board to include those going up from 46 to
Yes.
47.5. So it's
Everyone-
not 1,500 and then another 1,500.
No,
Okay.
every teacher gets $1,500. We just wanted the language to state that the starting salary would be moved to 47.5 because of the statute. We just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Gotcha. And then the support offer was 3% in addition to the step.
Yes.
Okay, so we do have a counter this evening.
All right.
We are continuing to ask for a stretch.
All right.
I got my speaking sheet. All right, so CCEA's counter offer is to request $3,444,148, which is a slightly less than our opener. We're responding to the instructional improvement to improve all teacher salaries by $1,500, bringing starting salary to $47.5 at a cost of $2.1 million. And then for the support, because we are adamant that we must do something as the state minimum wage is creeping up on our staff, that $1.35 an hour increase for both classified and pro-tech will keep us at least ahead or even on par with where our classified and pro-tech staff were before the state wage was increased. So that's an additional $1,332,493. In terms of where we might look to find funds for this purpose, we know that there continue to be at a ballpark of 50 instructional vacancies at $61,500 each. Just the first quarter of the year alone, what's been saved on those positions is somewhere in the neighborhood of $768,000. And I know that the board is obliged when they build their budgets to budget insurance board contributions for 100% of staff. If even 100 employees choose not to take the board health insurance in the next year, that's $672,000. So between those two pots of money in this year's budget, we believe that 1.4 million is available, and we can bridge the difference between the board's last offer and our offer, which is just above $1 million. That's how far apart we are.
Anybody on our team have any questions on that? No? Okay. Sounds good. All right, we're gonna need a caucus,
Okay?
okay? And like I said, I'll text you whenever we get done. If there's anything you need printed or anything like that, just shoot me an email and I'll
Okay.
send it, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Thank you for agreeing to the salary. And again, the reason why it says bring starting salary up is just to make sure there's no confusion per statute as to the starting salary. For support, in addition to the step they've already received, 3% increase for all CCEA classified professional technical, with each employee receiving at least a 50-cent per hour increase. Last year, I know we did level across the board, increase of 46 cents. What this one does is, by my quick calculation, 50 cents an hour would improve about 416 members of the bargaining unit quite significantly. But those who are at the top of the scale, 50 cents an hour would actually be less than 3%. So our proposal is whichever is better for the employee, that is what they would receive, either 3%, or if it's 50 cents an hour is better for the employee.
And what's the total dollar amount for this proposal?
And give me just a second. Looking at 3%, 50 cent. In my calculation, I'm looking at about increase of $522,000, $523,000 over what they currently have. Oh, hang on. Nope, let me back that up. With the vacants, we'll be looking at 587,000. My apologies on that.
587,000 increase on the support payroll?
Yes, with the benefits. That's the total amount with the 3% or 50 cents.
Questions, anyone?
Comment. With the community businesses offering $2 more an hour, or $3 more an hour, 59 cents an hour, or 50 cents, sorry, with the increase of gas and food and merchandise, it's not even gonna be a break-even deal with 50 cents, sorry.
Okay, so, thank you. So I don't know if you all need time to think this over.
So my concern is that it looks like the proposal actually begins to create compression. And what we were attempting to do was move everyone sort of in lockstep to ensure that we didn't create compression. We want to stay ahead of compression on the state minimum wage, but we also don't want to create compression within our own ranks. And it looks like this proposal would have that effect. So those people at the bottom, I mean, am I wrong? Am I
I can tell you the thought process is to try to, as you said, attract those employees to come in, but also not to forget about the people who have been here. So that's why, you know, the 3% with everyone receiving at least 50 cents acknowledges those who have, you know, put more time in with the district. If 3% is better for them, then they get 3% versus just raising everyone at the same rate.
Okay, no other questions?
I'd like to remind, the minimum wage went up $1.35. Anything less than that is really a decrease in your pay for people at the lowest levels. And 50 cents, I feel most people would be pretty insulted by it.
Okay, well.
I would be.
Okay,
And
I hear what you're saying, but like I said, we have a proposal. If you have a question about the proposal or clarification, I'd be happy to answer clarification. But if it's just comments or opinions about it, I'd prefer if we could kind of try to stay on track with the economics to try to move forward with it. So.
So the proposal has, the district's proposal has improved by how much in total? I understand this, the total payroll is an increase of 587,000, but comparing the total cost of the proposal.
Let's see. I don't think I have that right here. Get an answer here. Still no answer.
Can I ask you a question while you're waiting?
Mm-hmm.
Why 3%? I mean, because that was last time too, why 3%? Why are you keep going with 3%? What's the rationale?
Well, like I said, this is, the proposal, the original one was 3%. This one is a way to try to bring the salaries up at the bottom of the scale for those, as you said, trying to compete with what we have in the community. But also acknowledging that we do have people at the top of the scale, that an increase of 50 cents may be less than 3%, to acknowledge those who have been here. So if you're asking why we didn't go a higher percentage,
Yeah.
this allowed us to make an attempt to have a bigger impact even at the bottom of the scale. And not just those that are employed here, but the scale itself, to move the scale up. So 3% raise at the bottom of the scale wasn't going to be 50 cents.
I'm trying to force some calculations to see if I can get an estimate of the range in terms of percentage increase.
If I worked mine out, because I'm maxed out, I'm like here just because I love my job, it's only gonna be 3 cents different. That's insulting. I'm here 21 years, almost 22. Still in the same school, I haven't floated to anywhere else.
Okay. And so about what I can, down here, if you're looking at, 16, making 11.40 an hour, so 11.90 an hour would be what? 4.4% increase. That's the step 0, that's the bottom of the scale.
Right, so. So it's a 3 or 4% increase depending on whether you're at the top or the bottom.
50 cents?
That 1004 is the lowest, right?
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
5%,
but
that'd be a
there's-
5%.
Yeah, but that's the one, there's no one in that one.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just going by the one that we
Okay.
had someone in. That would be a 16, which is 11.40.
That's what I'm working on. Okay, So the actual change to the offer on the table, do we know what that is?
I'm trying to get that right now. Keep working on it.
Are there additional questions, or, Valerie, does your team need to caucus?
We were just hoping to get the calculation on the value of the offer, so we'd know what sort of
Okay.
improvement is being placed on the table, but, we can go to caucus, and if you wanna send it to me,
Yeah,
when
I'll
you
send,
get
if you
it.
want, I can send it to you whenever I get it,
Okay,
if that'll work. Okay?
Okay.
Right. You good with that? All right, so.
yep,
we'll-
okay, so, we will begin by, thanking the board for the movement on the proposal. I understand that, the board's most recent proposal is an increase of, in the ballpark of about $93,000. We have, made a similar move in the direction of the board's proposal and have reduced our amount requested to $3,345,444 in total, including the $2.1 million for the $1,500 across the board in the instructional unit. And what we'd like to see happen in the support unit, both classified and professional technical, to be improved this year by $1.25 an hour, which is not as much as the state minimum wage increase was, but hopefully will help us keep pace. At a cost of $1.2 million, it's actually $1,233,789, and with an agreement that for the 22-23 and the 23-24 school years, all classified and professional technical will be improved by at least $1 an hour in order to keep pace with the rising state minimum wage, which we know is coming, and to avoid compression within our own salary schedule. We, only a few short years ago, did a market adjustment over a course of 3 years in the instructional unit. It was reassuring to those staff who were thinking about, should they stay, should they go, what kind of changes should they make, to know that they could anticipate those adjustments coming. Knowing that the state wage is just gonna continue to rise at $1 an hour each year, we believe that this agreement will offer some assurance for the course of our 3-year agreement.
Now, if I recall correctly, whenever we had that market adjustment with the instructionals, we were running into where, at that point, there was another statute that was written regarding pay raises for people. So, I mean, we were dealing with another statutory issue there, trying to find a way to increase the bottom of the scale, move the whole scale up to try to be more competitive, right? Okay. So we were dealing with a statute that was directed specifically at teacher salaries, much like we are up at the top of there. Now, I understand what you're saying about trying to keep up with the minimum wage, believe me. It's a concern, and it is something that is being considered, but there's not a statutory requirement for it to be moved up, for everybody to be moved up per that. Just making a statement on that one. So, okay.
But what this agreement does do is it allows the board and the district to begin their budget process for the next couple of years with making sure that the harm that may be created by compression is addressed up front. And so we had a lot of conversation in our last meeting about, should we have conversations in January about budget items and raises, and this is a way to get a leg up on that. at least for the support unit. We know that things change year over year in statute when it comes to instructional raises. But the increases to the state minimum wage are in law for the next 5 years. And again, I do think that it offers assurance to the current employees that we have that we're planning ahead to keep them from being lured away to other local employers that might be offering better than minimum.
Okay, all right, thank you for the proposal. I'm gonna take this back, I'll, I'm gonna get on the phone, finance, and, I'll text you whenever we're getting close to coming back in, is that okay?
It is.
All right.
I hope we get brownie points for coming up with creative
Yeah,
solutions here, because
I
we're
did
trying to
not-
think
I'm not-
outside the box.
I didn't see this coming, I'm not gonna lie to that, all right, that one, it's gonna be interesting. Any questions from the team, anybody else before we go? No, okay, all right, give us just a few minutes.